Or don't hit back.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't tell Gamboa that shit in the gym. About these fucking things. Now. You know the drill. 10 players was asked to give some quick thoughts on the Gamboa Crawford fight. We're not gonna be doing a shitload of these, because people have been asking us to give our thoughts on a lot of fights lately. And hey. Well. You know. We're pretty fucking lazy. Fuck that. We earned that right. But since this was an entertaining one, we'll kick it a little on this fight. But some of you are claiming this was the greatest fight in history. We wouldn't go that damn far. Jesus. But to get to this Crawford-Gamboa fight. Look. There are pride fighters. And there are ego fighters. We just said Gamboa would go by knockout when he goes. And we wasn't just talking about from Crawford. We was talking about against any regular Joe. Because Gamboa's an ego fighter. Now there was always a point where just looking at Gamboa would get annoying to any real trainer. But the truth is, we were actually impressed with Gamboa in this fight. I mean, we could see someone's been telling him to keep those damn hands up. There was a point where all Gamboa did was walk around with his hands down in fights. This was the most we've ever seen him with them up. Unfortunately, he abandoned putting them up when he needed them the most. Like when he was being knocked the fuck down. Due to his hands not being up. But this was a pride versus ego fight. Now we know Floyd Sr. worked with him a bit on defense. But why he wasn't in his corner is something we don't know. Perhaps it's due to the 50 and Floyd issues. Or maybe there's a language barrier. Who the fuck knows? But Gamboa doesn't have a trainer. See, we watched these corners in between rounds, and we have no idea what Gamboa's corner was saying. But we know he doesn't have a real trainer based on body language. These guys weren't instructing him, and there were no signs of an authority figure respect towards anyone in his corner. At one point someone tried to take his mouthpiece out for water. And Gamboa nudged the guy's hand out the way. It was more like they were servants talking to Prince Gamboa than trainers he respected giving instructions. It was the ego corner. Meanwhile, Crawford was in total harmony in his corner, listening thoroughly to his trainer with great respect. Eye-to-eye contact. Nods of yes. Okay. I understand. I will. And a lot of composure. None of that shit went down in Gamboa's corner. And we can only wonder what that fight would have looked like with one of these guys in his corner instead. Because Gamboa needs a corner. And we doubt he'll get one. We were asked to do a matchups video. But we may stick a trainer-fighter matchups piece in it as well. Because we see too many fighters with the wrong trainers. Now Gamboa fights like a little bully with a big ego. I mean, we've seen Gamboa go down, then get the fuck up too fast to hit a motherfucker back. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get up to fire back. If you have the correct mental state in the ring. But Gamboa's mental state isn't so much to get those points back on the scorecards, as it is the mental attitude of, hey motherfucker. You hit me. I'm here to hit you only. How the fuck dare you hit me back? You see, that's the wrong fucking state of mind. You've gotta brace yourself and keep a clear head in the ring. Because this was a good fight. One Gamboa was doing well in the first 4 rounds. But the victory wasn't based on superior physical ability. It was based on superior mentality. Who kept the cooler head? Which was Crawford. Who had people in his corner to keep him cool mentally, and not just with cool bottled water. Gamboa had the superior physical skills in our book. This was an easy fight to win for Gamboa, if he had a ring mind. Ring minds know what to do when there's a challenge. And not only when it's easy work. Gamboa doesn't. Crawford does. After the first 4, all he needed was to lay back every other round, with his hands up, and cruise to a unanimous decision. And if he was patient. Wait to catch Crawford when the opportunity arose. But Gamboa has a defense problem. He thinks fighters are armless punching bags. That's great against bums, but not Crawford. Because Crawford's no bum. But the sick thing about Gamboa is the fact that he actually has talent. He had the better car in our view when it came to his physical abilities, but wasn't the smarter driver. The fucking man will not put his hands up to save his fucking life when they need to be upmost. Like when he's in a fucking crisis on wobbly legs. He'll put them up for 3 seconds then put them right the fuck back down. But the saddest thing about Gamboa is that he's a little headhunter. The little guy with power that never gets low on the inside to work the fucking body. And when you're a little guy with power, that's an advantage. The body's like chopping at a fucking tree. When you work it, it doesn't take much up top later to make a motherfucker fall. But we know Gamboa's problem. He came along with so much talent and speed against guys he was facing, that it's been habitually instilled in him to fight that way. Nevertheless, he's still a talented, dangerous fighter. But he'll get KO'd again unless he makes changes. And the foundation to his change starts with the ego in his head. Not drills in the gym. He needs trainers he respects, because that motherfucker needs to get an electric shock every time he puts his hands down in the fucking gym. To his damn balls too. Until he gets it. I mean, he did a good job putting them up. Until he needed them up the most. Virtually every time Gamboa goes down, it's in an exchange. But the guy's skill is amazing because he has to leap in on these taller fighters, and back out before getting hit. It's exchanging on the inside where Gamboa has problems. People compare him to Tyson, but he fights nothing like Tyson. Those are the moments when he actually should fight like prime Tyson. But you need defense on the inside. Gamboa is rarely there, but starts wailing away open wide to be hit when he is. Their ego exchanges. And it doesn't take talent to tag him. But he didn't lose much stock after this fight. He just didn't gain any, but remains an exciting fighter. Who'll be knocked out again unless they start giving him those electric shocks. It's one thing to see a fighter get beat because he doesn't have the tools. It's another to see a guy get beat because he refuses to use them. That's just dumb shit. I mean, come on, Gamboa. You get knocked the fuck down. And get up and run to a motherfucker with your hands down. Stop acting fucking retarded. Get a damn trainer. Nevertheless, Gamboa is still one of those fighters we get a little more pumped up to see fight. But Crawford just joined that list. And his stock rose immensely. We definitely wouldn't mind seeing him in against Garcia. Mikey, that is. Though he beat Danny in the amateurs as well. So those would be some serious well-rounded fights. But we like the guy so far. We can only hope he won't get infected with cherry pickinitis. Though we already hear some fans talking about Crawford at 147. Now that might be jumping the gun. I mean, if Gamboa can hurt Crawford, we're pretty sure one of these guys certainly the fuck can. I mean, let the guy deal at his weight class. And if he grows into 147, he grows into it. After all, light welter's getting pretty damn loaded. And Crawford just became a name we'll watch against anyone there. No doubt. Believe that. Peace. We're out.